Yeah. Man, listen, man, y'all already know what the fuck going on. This your boy, Big Uno Way, man. I'm here with my boy Charles, aka C Horns. Make sure y'all tune in to KvscTV, man. This shit going definitely colossal. Hey, man.
Run with you with no bitch, I'm ready. Ride with 40s on hollow, start feeling heavy. If she get different, you cut her off with machete. Ain't fuck with bitches, I swear these shorties be petty. I'm a youngin', I'm thuggin' out like I'm Jeffy. Can't talk no business with bitches, cause they be messy. With your bitch kicking in like I'm messy. If you want this work, then you come and test me. Big old bananas, it come from KG. Standing tall, I swear I can't let niggas play me.
It's your boy Charms, aka C Harms. You are now tuned in to yet another episode of KvscTV. Here with the homie, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people your name and where you're from, man.
What's happening? It's your boy, Big Uno. Yeah, Uno Way, man. Listen, man, I'm from Marlboro County, Businessville, South Carolina. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So, I know you just recently released like a single, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into that, man, I usually like to give the people a little backstory for anybody who might not know you or be familiar with what you got going on. So, you say you're from Marlboro County, right?
Yes, sir.
Bennisville, okay. I did a bid over there, man, at Evans.
Yeah, that's a tough correctional facility.
Facts, man. So, tell me a little bit, about what it was like for you growing up.
It wasn't too tough. I was a PK, man. I'm a preacher's kid, so, we didn't really struggle too much, but we did struggle, you know. And coming from Marlboro, it's only two options, really. You either gonna play ball or sell drugs. It's not too many outlets for the kids down there. So, coming from Marlboro, man, it's kind of hard to make it out, but it can't be done. You feel me?
Yeah. Well, they say, man, the preacher's kids be the ones that turn out the most. So,
ain't
the truth of that, man?
It's definitely true. I be turning up. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. So, tell me how you were introduced to music.
Shoot, well, me being a PK, I always played like music in the church. I played drums. Drums is like my heart. That's my first instrument I ever picked up. I played drums since I was like 8 years old. Then I learned keys at like 13, and so I always was infatuated with the music. Growing up in the church, the music be jumping.
Right.
So
Definitely.
that's where I was kind of introduced to music. My mama, everybody else sang, so I was really raised up in a musical family.
Yeah. Was it always just gospel music or just music in general?
It was music in general, because even though my mama and my daddy are preachers, they still live life.
Right.
Yeah, they live under God's rule, but they have fun. So, we play all the music that you listen to, everybody else listen to, all the oldies, and, that's what I grew up on.
Right.
All the old school joints. Love it.
Okay. So tell me how you got your name, man.
That's funny, because whenever I started rapping, I probably was like taking rap serious. I was like 13, and I started rapping with this crew called Clown Gang in Bennisville. Shout out T. Shout out my boy Nino, my cousin Nino. And they got with me because nobody else was really listening to me. Like, I was an underdog. J.E. Misfit was just popping out and going crazy. So like, it was really hard for underground artists in the city to pop out because he had a big light. So Clown Gang really was the first people to really give me a chance. So got with them, and I was the first one with them. So they called me Uno.
Right.
So it stuck. And T always said I was gonna be the one.
Okay. How would you, describe your style? Because I hear the melodic flow.
Yeah.
But I know there's some bars there too.
Definitely.
And some substance. You see what I'm saying? So like I guess that kind of explains like the whole preacher kid thing.
Yeah.
Because you super aware what's going on and you can hear it in the music.
Definitely.
But it's like you still find your way to be creative about it. Like, how would you describe your style?
I would describe my style as like the bridge between old school and new school rap. Because, yeah, I'm young. I'm 22. I'll be 23 in July. So July 5th, one of the artists, I want to send them cash out, send them through. But,
Okay.
yeah, man, like, I always was raised, like I said, raised around old school joints. I always hung around my granddaddy, my uncles, my mama, all them, so I was always raised around that. you know, in the old school music, you get that substance, but that new school gives you that style.
Right.
So I'm trying to bring that bridge together so it won't be like, you know, you see like new artists dissing the old school, you know, not really giving them credit. But without them, we wouldn't have that style we have. So I'm trying to bring it all together, you know.
Okay.
So I would call my style the bridge.
Hmm?
That's what I would call my
So
style.
as far as like your visuals go, I've seen you worked a lot with like Jet Life Media.
Oh yeah, my
Damo.
brother. Shout out Damo. Yeah.
Bet, man. Like, how did you go about meeting him, man? How was that business relationship established?
Man, me and Damo are brothers. Like, that's my bro. You know, like we grew up together. You know, he went to the same church that my daddy pastored over here in Hartsville.
Yeah.
K Branch Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
And we went over, whenever I got over there, me and Damo clicked like that, you know, off the rip. And you know, my brother JC, he's a part of Family Forever, the label that I'm on. And me and him are brothers as well, sung on the same groups and everything, growing up together, staying at each other's house. And you know, with Damo coming around, that just linked us all together.
Yeah, because I think he went to school for doing videos, right?
Oh yeah. Bro is an animal with it. If y'all ain't got no video from Jet Life, y'all sleep. Y'all need to get out there. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what would you say was your biggest influence when it came to writing music? Is it, you know, what you were going through, or like the kind of shit you was around? Like, what would you say was your biggest influence when it came to writing music?
It really was a mix of both. Really, my biggest influence was what I was around and things that I went through in life. Because that really would a lot of my music be about. You know, I talk about the trap, I talk about selling drugs and stuff like that because I did it. You know, I'm not proud of it, you know, especially with being the man that I am now. But, you know, I use that to teach people that it's another route. You know, you don't have to always go there. I'll let you know that, yeah, I relate to you. I've been there. But I also took another stance with it, you know.
Right. And that ain't really something that you hear a lot nowadays,
Yeah.
especially from younger artists.
Yeah.
So, you know, with that being said, I salute you, my dude.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that, for real.
Yeah, so, like, what's your approach to writing music? You know, you got your people who punch in, you got your pen to pad guys. You know, what's your approach?
I really do a lot of both. Like, sometimes if I'm feeling the vibe of the song off the rip, then I just hop in the studio. I just, you know, punch in, do freeze. Yeah, but a lot of songs that I do, if I'm, you know, taking time, because I make most of the beats for my songs as well. So if I'm taking time out to make the beat and stuff, and I'm actually feeling it, and I'm in that process, then I take time to write it out, because I want my message to come out clear.
Right.
But if I'm making like a party trap song, just turn up, I'll hop in and just give you the vibe.
Right. So when did you get into production? I know that, you know, you playing instruments played a lot in that, but when did you sit down and try to learn like programs?
Yeah. I say when I turned about 15, 16 years old, my brother G3, YSC and G, he out of Bennisfield too as well. We pretty much came up doing music together, you know. And he was more advanced than I was when I first started. He was already making beats and all that. So I used to go over to his house and I stay over there all day. And when he touched the computer, sit back and just watch it, because I was so interested into it. I love music, period.
Right.
But being able to really make a beat and give something, give a song some substance,
Yeah.
I wanted to be a part. You know?
Right.
So I took time. He took time with me, and I just sit back and, you know, learned it.
So what was your first program?
My first program is actually the program I'm using now. That I made my first beat on Mixcraft 8.1.
Okay. Okay. So you're not really a fan of the Fruity Loops, or that's just what you're used to?
Fruity Loops is a great program. It really is. But it's just hard for me to understand it. Like, I mean, all them little sections and stuff on the side, like, I don't know. Mixcraft is just very simple to the point. So I can, you know, kind of get it better with them.
That's what's up, man. So you've been in the game for a little minute now, about 10 years?
Yeah, coming on about 10. Yeah.
Okay. So, and you are like one of the artists I see take a more serious approach to the music, you know, acknowledging the business side and not just doing it out of, you know, being talented and having just, you know what I'm saying, just having something to do.
Yeah.
So, like, what would you say were some of the pros and cons of being in the music industry?
A pro you always have an outlet. You know, you don't have to bottle your emotions up. You know, because that hurts a lot of artists to where they feel like, okay, I gotta make twerk songs. I gotta always make trap songs. Nah, you can make songs that really tell your emotion, and it allows you to be vulnerable. And that's something that we can't do as men a lot. You know, especially black men. We know we'll hold that wall up a lot. But, you know, when you get into that stool, you get into that vibe, it allows you to let that guard down and be you for a minute, you know, and not be that defensive man. That's a big pro for me. A con, you never have no time. When you really into it, that's all you do. Music 24/7. Like when I get off of work, I'm in the studio. I'm recording somebody. You know, so you always moving, always working. That's a con for me, because you know you don't really have too much time for family, girlfriend, stuff like that. You got to handle business.
Yeah. Speaking of that, man, like how do you handle those issues as far as time go, and having those special people in your life who might want that attention in time, but you just feel like you can't give it to them because you focus on your career?
The best thing to do is schedule. You got to plan out. My daddy always told me, as a young man, you have to, if you plan to fail, you fail to plan. I mean, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
So that's something that I never want to do. I never want to fail. I always want to succeed. So I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to sit down, make a schedule. And these people in my life get this time. They get this day. And these people in my life, as far as the music and business side, they get this time. So you have a set schedule in your face, setting that apart, and you have something to go by. You know, that's the best route for me, personally.
Taking that approach as far as maintaining the things in your life and having that plan in place, you know, that was great advice from your father, man.
Oh yeah.
It also takes a lot of discipline.
Oh yes, sir.
So where would you say you got your discipline from?
My pops. My pops was a military man, and one thing about military men, they on time, they on schedule, everything is, you know, up to par. And so like, that what really gave me my discipline as far as for the music, because my daddy got me ready for life. He disciplined me for life. So if you're ready for life, you're ready for any other obstacle or any other challenge that come into your life, because you disciplined for it, you ready for it, you was taught it. So that's where I really get my discipline from, my pops.
Do you apply that to your songwriting and music making?
Definitely. Pops always told me, if you're gonna do something, go hard. And the same way you would go hard for anything else, go hard for that. You know, so definitely, I apply that.
That's what's up, man. So, what was the moment you knew that doing music was what you wanted to do?
It's funny you say that, because probably about, I'd say definitely about 3 to 4 years ago, right before I got with VIJ Black Glove. Shout out to the label, man. Make sure y'all get y'all merch. But right before I got with the label, I was just gonna give it up, man, because I felt like nobody was listening, you know. I felt like I wasn't being heard, so I was like, you know, I'm just get a job. Fuck it, you know. Somebody else can get the spotlight.
Yeah.
But whenever I went to I shot my video Reckless in Fayetteville, and these guys got off the bus and came over and was like, yo, we was listening to your song, bro, you hard. He's like, I ain't heard nobody like you. You really got bars and all this. So really hearing that from the outside, because I ain't gonna say I traveled a lot, but I didn't travel too much. I was always in Marlboro. So all I really knew was Marlboro County, Bentonville, South Carolina. That's all I really knew too much, you know. And whenever I got outside and I went to Fayetteville, and they showed me the love that they showed me, that just opened my eyes and was like, yo, this is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You know? My mama always said God give you, there's a sign before destruction. There's always a warning for destruction. So I feel like God gave me that sign, like, you know, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. That's what's up. So, you know, with your experiences in the game and, you know, your love for music starting early,
Yeah.
like, what would you say it takes for an artist to make it in the game today?
Heart. You got to be hungry for it. Like, this can't be just a hobby. If it's just a hobby, you'll never make it. You'll never make it. This got to be something that you really put yourself into. You got to study this. Like, just like you go to basketball practice every day, you got to come in the stool every day. You know, you got to put in that work. You got to sit down and network with people. You got to learn how to market. You know, you got to learn how to publish your shit. You got to learn all of that. A lot of people think if you come in the stool, record something, drop it on YouTube or drop it on SoundCloud, Audio Mac or whatever, somebody hear it, you gonna blow. That may work for some people, but the majority of artists that's really doing this, it didn't go like that. They had to grind. They had to get up in the stool. They had to go out and sell their stuff on the street. They had to go in front of people and like hand out CDs and stuff like that for free. You know, it's a lot of stuff that you gotta do.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's what it'll really take. You gotta be hungry. You gotta be disciplined, and you got to be, you know, ready to work. You got to be ready to work at all times. You never know when you get that call. You never know.
You know, being is that you went through everything you went through, and you know, the whole process of going through the game, like, did you learn all of those things on your own? Was it trial and error? Did you have like a mentor, somebody to kind of guide you through what it takes to really make it in the game on a serious level?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of trial and error. Cause coming from Marlboro, man, you don't have a lot of help. You know, Marlboro is a very small city, a group of small cities. Bennettsville is like the heart of Marlboro, but then you got Clio, Wallace, all that. But coming from those areas, you don't have no help.
Yeah.
You don't. They don't know about you. You know, the closest thing to you that they know is Columbia or Florence, you know, or North Carolina, Charlotte.
Yeah, I think Frank De Niro from Bennettsville, right?
Yeah, Frank was a big help too. You know, Frank gave me some pointers and, you know, helped me out along the way. You know, told me if something sounded good, told me if something didn't sound good, you know. So, yeah, Frank helped out as well, J.E. You know, a lot of people that was already in the industry, you know, was already grinding. They helped out a lot as well. But yeah, it definitely was a lot of trial and error, just going out there, sticking my foot out there. Sometimes I got burnt, sometimes I scored, you know, so.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So, how many projects have you done?
Man, I probably did I know I got over like 6 projects that I officially put out. But like all my old joints, I got a bunch of old projects that got lost. You know, so I have a lot of music. Like I got Outkast, the Outkast series, that's 3 of them. I got High I'm Uno, Fans Choice, One Way, I Don't Want 3, I Don't Want 2, I Don't Want 1. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. There's a lot of music out there. Just type in Uno away, you'll see me.
Yeah, facts, man. You definitely built up a crazy catalog, man. I kind of want to touch on now, you know, with the single you just released. You know, tell me a little bit about that and what was your process going into making the song?
Yeah, I just dropped a single called Hallways, and man, it's going crazy right now on Audio Mac. I just dropped it on Audio Mac just to see what it'll do. You know, that's not one of the songs that I'm really pushing to, you know, make crazy money off of or anything like that. That's just something that I love to just drop stuff for the fans, you know, for the people that's listening.
Right.
And so I dropped that, and in the process of making that, I had to really remind people that I can rap, because a lot of people thought, you know, since I'm in this gunner phase, a lot of people say like melodic rap phase,
right, that
I ain't got no more bars, which I don't understand. I heard that from one person, and that would maybe make that song. I ain't gonna lie, that would maybe make that song. I started I can really rap, don't get it twisted. That was fuck. I had to let them know, like, yeah, I can really rap.
Yeah.
You know, so that was that song came from.
So is there a project on the way?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just posted on my Instagram, Facebook, everywhere that One Way 2 will be dropping on July the 5th.
Okay.
That's my birthday, so we're gonna give the fans the album that album supposed to been out.
Right.
You know, that album supposed to been out, so we're gonna drop it on July the 5th. And we got a couple videos coming with it as well, so make sure y'all stay tuned. It's definitely gonna go crazy. Yes,
that's
sir.
what it is, man. Like, what was your mindset going into that? Like, did you feel like you had a point to prove, or?
Sort of, kinda, because one way went crazy. But I felt like there was another level I couldn't unlock.
Right.
That was like my first really studio album. And I was like, well, you know, I like this album, but there's another level. So I know my fans and my supporters feel like, you know, there's always another Uno they can get.
Right.
And I want to keep that expectancy up. You know, I want them to say, yeah, okay, yeah, this was hard, but I know he about to come with something harder.
Right.
Every time.
Right. So I mean, what drives you to keep going and trying to reach new levels?
My son, man, I got a little boy, Kamari. Got him tatted on me. Oh, this one. Got him tatted on me. And that's my biggest drive right there. That's why I get up and do anything that I do, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to do this for him. You know, I gotta give him something, you know, to live off of and let him carry on the legacy, give him a legacy. So yeah, that's my biggest drive right there. Amari, I love you, boy.
What's the end game for Uno?
The end game, I got 2 goals. The first goal, I want to buy back my block and give it to my son. That way, he won't even have to pay for college. He won't. By the time he's 25, he'll damn near be a millionaire. Because you got land, you never broke. You never broke. You can throw something up on your land and make that currency back. You know, and I'm gonna try to teach him that as a young man. Like, you know, yeah, you got this land. It's worth this amount of money. If you want to sell it back, and you sell it back. If you want to, you know, put a store up or anything up, make sure you handle your business. You know, I want to give him that way he can say, you know, my daddy worked hard to give me this. You know, my daddy gave me my neighborhood, his old neighborhood.
Yeah. And what would be your second goal?
My second goal would be to open a black bank. I want to open up a bank for our people. You know, like they say, real power is in the money, is in the banks, and so we can't have no real power as a people until we hit them with a bank. We put all our money into one spot, because we're funding everything else. We're funding all the white corporations and stuff like that. They get money off of us, off of minorities. We fund them the most. So why can't we just take that money, put it in the bank, and use it for us? You know, black people need loans. Okay, yeah, but you want that bad credit, man, anything like that, don't worry about it. You know, come through. We'll work with you, all that. Like, that's something that I'm trying to do. You know, so I really want to open up a black bank and buy back my block for my son.
It's actually pretty commendable and ambitious, man.
Yes, sir.
And I most definitely wish you the best. I kind of want to break down some bars with you, man.
Okay.
But before we get into that, I want to kind of ask you to kind of dive into, you know, what you were speaking on in the mindset that you displayed just now. With everything that's going on currently, and, you know, the protests and the Black Lives Matters and the rioting and the looting and all these negative but positive things that are coming from this, what's your viewpoints on that?
With everything that happened to George Floyd, man, I hate it. And I hate it because this is not the first instance. Like, if this was the first case, then I wouldn't say I could understand, but I could give it a little leeway, because it's the first time it happened, you know? So we can kind of nip it in the bud there. But this continuously happens for years. And so when you continuously, say if you continuously beat on a person and he's not hitting back or anything like that, when he get a chance to erupt, or when he reaches breaking point, he's going to turn into a monster, you know? So, and that's what I feel like we have now. We have that Malcolm X generation that he was talking about, that get back. The ones that's not going to sit down and take it and just do a peaceful protest. We still have some peaceful protest people, but we got a lot of, especially in our younger generation, we have a lot of people that's not taking it. You got to remember, we not our ancestors. Yeah, our ancestors live within us, but we not them. We not taking this no more. And I agree with everything that they're doing. Like, I feel, my daddy told me just like this. If this happens and you do this, it can cause this. Very simple. So if you continuously kill and lock up black men for a period of years, on 40 years and on up, then you gonna get this monster that we have now. You know? So I really don't agree with it at all. I hated it with everything in me. I hate to see a grown man be stripped of his manhood in front of everybody, you know, just behind a badge.
Right.
I hate it with a passion. So,
True
you know,
indeed.
I don't agree with the looting of every business, because we got to protect black businesses. We have to at all costs. But with everything going on, how can you blame them? That's how I feel.
Okay. So let's jump into these bars, man.
Let's do it.
So people can really understand in depth, you know, like where you coming from.
Yes, sir.
First up, you say, in the shadows I feel anonymous. Music sound the same, all these rappers are synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about what you meant by that. I know it's kind of obvious, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Like, basically, I reflected back on that bar. I reflected back to when I first started rapping. And, like, I was in the shadows of, you know, J.E., Frank De Niro, all the big names out there in Marlboro County. And I was in the shadows. I felt like I was the one on the list that would be last to be heard, you know? So I felt like, you know, nobody knew me. I felt anonymous. And we in the game now where every rapper sounds the same. And I'm trying to be different, so how could you not hear me?
Yeah.
You know? So that's where that bar came from. Like, yeah, that's how I felt on that.
Okay. The next bar up is well, a couple of bars. It says, to be a real nigga, you ain't got to pop a top, you ain't got to sell a rock, you ain't got to rock a block. Take care of your duty, stand tall, never break a mold. Then it says, grab hold every lesson told. It's what is it? It's only one way.
Yes, sir.
So like, to me, that resonated a lot, and it was really powerful to hear a young man, young artist, who can talk about the trap in the streets, have those kind of mindset, like have that kind of mindset and speak that to where, hey man, I need you to understand,
Yeah.
like this ain't the only way.
Yeah.
Feel what I'm saying? Like, tell me a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, yeah, that basically is exactly what I was trying to do. Like, let my brothers know, like, you ain't got to be no gangster. A real gangster handle business, no matter what it is. If you in school, if you play ball, if you know whatever you do, like, handle business. That makes you gangster. You ain't gotta go kill no nigga. You ain't gotta go rob them. You know, sell weed, sell drugs. Man, you ain't gotta do all that. You don't have to. You don't have to be somebody that you not. You know, be you and handle business. That makes you gangster. You feel what I'm saying? And there's only one way. You know, you keep God first and you pray, and you ask Him to order your steps. Then you know, you can handle business as you need to.
And the last one, it says, and when you speak the truth, it's like you're from another planet. They teach you to be a gangster before you can be a man. Police brutality, man, they killing us where you stand. Like, that's deep.
Yeah.
And this was before George Floyd.
Oh yeah.
Your mindset was already there.
Yeah.
So, like, tell me a little bit about, you know, what inspired that.
Yeah, man. I was just speaking on what the media do. Like, the media really portray the gangster. And what I mean, well, I wouldn't say the gangster, the thug. They portray.
There's definitely a difference.
It's definitely a difference. It's definitely a difference. But they portray the person that's gonna go out their pants sagging to his knees, that portrays himself as a thug. But they don't never portray the man. You feel me? The guy that's really doing what he needs to do to be on top. They never portray that. So what the media are doing psychologically, they're teaching our young brothers that this is what you got to do to make it. You feel me? And I'm giving them another option. Like, nah, bro. Be you. That's what's going to make the money, because there's only one of you.
Right. So with that being said, man, like, how much accountability do you feel like artists hold for the music that they make?
I don't feel like they hold a lot.
I mean, do you think they should, or do you think it's okay because it's entertainment? Like, where do you stand on that?
Nah, I get the entertainment part. You know, like some bars within a song would be just for entertainment, like filler bars. So I understand it. But you don't want your whole song or your whole persona or your whole character to be that. You know, outside the music, you want them to see something better, another option. You know, so I feel like artists should be more accountable. More artists, I've been seeing artists, you know, stepping out. Like as far as like J. Cole, shout out J. Cole coming to Fayetteville. You know, seeing Nick Cannon, you know, step out. Seeing Kanye West step out in Chicago, like that's what I want to see. I want to see more artists stepping out and, you know, fighting causes or you know, going out, taking time with the younger generation and teaching them, like, you know, you ain't got to do what I had to do.
Right.
Cause now we're in a different generation where you can get on the internet and make millions. You feel me? You don't have to be on the block. You know, so
With everything that's going on, I have seen a lot of artists move towards making those conscious songs and putting out their effort to be more aware of what's going on. Do you think that's just a trend, or do you feel like music should go back to that anyway?
Oh yeah, I feel like music should go back to that, because music is basically a reflection of where we from or where we at. So you have to let the world know what's going on. Let them know what's going on in your hood. You know, they ain't saying go out there and snitch on everybody that's doing anything, but let them, you know, give them some light.
Yeah.
So they can be aware of it, and we all can come together and make a compromise and make it better. You know. So yeah, I feel like we should go back to that. Let the world know how we live, show them how we live, and not just entertain them. You know.
True indeed, man. Well, look, yo, I really appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother.
You know, coming on the KvscTV, man, and I salute everything you got going on. You're a
Appreciate you, bro.
real deep individual, and most people probably wouldn't know that.
Wouldn't even know it. Yeah.
But now they gonna know.
Oh yes, sir.
You dig? So, look, before we run off, tell the people your socials, man. How can they find you? How can they find your music? You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. Listen, man. I'm on every platform as far as music, so all you have to do is type in Uno Way. Now I'll pop up Apple Music, Spotify, Audio Max, SoundCloud. I'm everywhere. You feel me? So make sure y'all go tune in. I'm on IG at The Real Uno Way. I'm on Facebook, Uno Way. So basically, anything Uno Way. You get on Twitter, you get on Facebook, you get on IG, wherever you at. Just type in Uno Way. The Real Uno Way on The Real Uno Way 1 on IG. You feel me? So make sure y'all tap in, follow me, man. Let's get to 5K. I'm trying to get at least 5K.
When the project coming out again?
The project will be out, One Way 2 will be out July 5th. So make sure y'all tune in. Yes, sir.
That's what it is, man. Hey, it's your boy Charms, aka C Harms, and this has been yet another episode of KvscTV. Yeah, dig.
Greatest shit in the world. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah!
With machete. Ain't fuck with bitches, I swear these shorties be petty. I'm a youngin', I'm thuggin' out like a